One of the earliest memories I have of reading anything is this weird, obscure, random, dialogueless French graphic novel that my family got from the public library. Why did we have this? Why did I read it so many times when I was young? Why did I feel the need to make a video about it? All of these are questions that I do not have the answer to. Steam Park is an extremely short 44-page graphic novel written by Filippo Neri and illustrated by Piero Ruggeri. It was published by a French company, Le Cycliste, in 2004 and brought to America by Simply Read Books in 2006. Here is all the information that I was able to find about all the people and companies that I just mentioned. From what I understand, this is the only graphic novel that Filippo Neri and Piero Ruggeri ever made. Piero's done illustrations for some other stuff, but it's more like collections of stories that were published in like a magazine or something. It was hard to research any of this because it's all extremely old, extremely obscure, and extremely French. Filippo Neri was even harder to find any information on, mainly in that he shares a name with a much more famous Catholic priest, as well as a different author who writes books on nerd stuff like science and technology, unless this distinguished scientist is the same guy who wrote Steam Park. I'm saying all of this because as I was reading this book from my childhood, I realized that it's not very long and there wouldn't even be that much to talk about. So I was like, oh, I'll just read and review some other stuff these guys have done. But apparently these guys barely even exist. So Steam Park is getting its very own video. Like I said, there's no dialogue and it's pretty short. So I figured I'd just go through the whole story since I doubt anyone watching has read it already or is planning on reading it themselves. It starts with an aerial view of an empty amusement park called Luna Park. We see a group of kids excitedly rush toward one of the attractions run by this very nefarious looking person I'll call the Carney. He takes the kids' tickets and they go on a thrilling roller coaster with frightening props and animatronics until the ride abruptly ends, and we see these two kids get chased by the Carney, eventually getting caught and thrown in a cell, presumably underneath the park. The Carney leaves the kids alone before flipping the switch and shocking himself pretty badly. The electricity from this unexpected shock brings one of the ride's props to life. So now this pumpkin ghost guy is alive and starts interacting with the other animatronics. It escapes and finds itself outside. It comes across this drunk old man who works as one of the clowns at the park. They get scared of each other at first, but decide to explore the park together. They wander around a bit and see stuff like this sad elephant, and Ballora is there too. They eventually discover that the park's attractions are being operated by enslaved kids like the ones we saw get captured by the Carney earlier. They decide to free the kids, but get caught in the act by the Carney. The ghost guy helps the kids escape, while the old man gets absolutely thrashed. Like, bro, he's a drunk old clown. Was the judo kick really necessary? Bro really lives by the philosophy of never underestimate your opponent. Well, it was the Carney's neutral air that ultimately led to his demise, because he kicked the old man directly into another switch that let out a bunch of electricity into the whole park and every attraction that's there. So now the entire park is sentient and decides to gang up on the Carney because of his mistreatment. The Carney chases them around in a bumper car, but eventually gets hit in the face with a giant mallet, and the sentient carnival attractions catch up to him. The next morning, we see the park is still open and all the kids are having a blast now that they're not forced to do manual labor like in Snowpiercer. And the last we see of the Carney is all the kids torturing him. So that's cool. I mean, I don't really know what to say. It's a pretty short and simple story. I do like the art quite a bit. Line quality and expressiveness are all on point. The cross-hatching on all of the shaded areas really give the pages an appropriate amount of eerie and macabre atmosphere. I think this book is just really weird, and it's even weirder that my family owned it, and it's weirdest that I felt the inspiration to make a video about it. I like having this book since it's so obscure and technically the first graphic novel I ever read, but I can't say it's particularly interesting besides the fact that it's so obscure and hard to find any information about its creators. If anyone knows more information about these publishers or the creators, I would be happy to learn about it. I know you don't, but I figure I'd say it anyway to let you all know that the video is almost over. Steam Park gets a 3 out of 5 stars, I guess. A bigger comic review is on its way, don't worry guys.
Not to mention it's also one of, if not the best move in the entire game.